What is up, beaches? You know me here with a little bit of Clash Royale gameplay. I wanted to take just a minute though before we get started to talk about dueling decks and what's the best deck. Because I see and hear a lot of people complain about getting stuck in Arena 2, Arena 3, or even Arena 4. Um, and I think what they're using are a bunch of strong cards. They're trying to come over here and just overpower people, with giants and the prince and hog riders and pekkas and mini pekkas. And what I found is whether you're facing a deck that is stacked with a bunch of power cards or you're facing another deck that's more of a spam deck, a deck composition like this, like the one I'm using, seems to be working really, really well. Obviously, I have a level 7 barb, but I mean everything else is fairly common level. But I've had success, pretty good success, getting through Arena 1, 2, 3, 4 with this type of an army. I found that every time I went with a strong army, with a power army, they get overwhelmed by defenses, and they just can't clear fast enough. So my suggestion to you, if you are stuck, go with a spam deck is what I'll call it. It's a fairly cheap deck. And I'll go through why I'm choosing what I'm choosing right now. Barbarians, obviously, because they're tanky. 528 hit points, and I get 4 of them, and that puts 2200 or 2100 hit points on the field, and decent damage per second at 400. The giant skeleton, I use this to clear a mass group of opponent's troops, and it doesn't do much damage as far as its hit points are very low, 110 damage per second. It's really slow, it's cumbersome, but look at this death damage. This death damage is 792, so when it blows up at the end, it deals almost 800 damage to something, and it's going to wipe out about anything that you're facing. And of course, the old goblin barrel, just toss that over anytime I get the chance. The baby dragon, splash damage, so I get the ability to clear again a lot of troops in a short amount of time. Obviously, the minions are very important because, they're cheap and you get lots of them. And the hit points aren't fantastic, only 144, but you get so many of them, and they really help again clear the field of spam troops, and they target both air and ground. Now the bomb tower. This is my favorite card easily. I place this on the field anytime I can. If I get 2 of them on the field, that's fantastic. But what it does, if you haven't used this before, is it clears, all the spam troops that they get out there cannot touch the bomb tower. The only thing it's weak against, obviously, are air defenses, or air troops, and really, really super strong, like a P.E.K.K.A. or a giant. It just can't blow through it fast enough, but you should be able to see that coming and deploy a troop to assist your bomb tower. And then of course the hog rider, if I ever get the chance, mainly use it after my giant skeleton's blown everything up, drop the hog rider in, just to kind of come in and get a few hits on the building. And then really that's my strategy. It's really simple. I'll show a couple replays. This is my battle history, going through, see lots of wins. Obviously a couple losses here farther down, several ties. This deck, either you're going to tie or you're going to win 80% of the time. Here, this 1 to 3 loss, I just played terribly. I was distracted. My daughters were crawling all over me. Wife's trying to get me to go cook dinner. So that probably wasn't the best one, and I definitely won't show it. But yeah, so this type of deck works well. My 5 cards are pretty set. The 6 card, I'm not really sure. I keep going back and forth as far as what I think is best. I think I'm landing on the hog rider though, because you'll see that 6 card change quite a bit. But I want to show you guys, what it does. See if I can't find one here. So this cat here, Demon Carlos. This is still in. This is still in the P.E.K.K.A.'s Playhouse. So this is an Arena 4 battle. I'll just kind of go through this fairly quickly. And he comes in crying. I don't know why he's crying, but maybe he just knows what's coming. So if I get the opportunity, I always try to drop my giant skeleton first, just because it really clears the field. He was able to drop his hog rider right there, but I'm able to get so many shots in on that tower. And check this out. Hold on. watch what happens when this giant skeleton dies. Watch how much damage it does to the tower. Very impressive. Boom! Almost takes down, almost full 800 points right there. So at that point, I know I've got one tower down. So I'm just kind of waiting. I'm going to try to play a little bit of defense because he was able to get a few shots into my tower. Again, the bomb tower is very weak against air defenses. It has no defense at all against air defenses. So you always try to keep a minion or something around. Dragon. So he ends up making a really good push here, and I'm fortunate to be able to push that off. And I'm going to toss my Goblin Barrel and finish off that. Almost, but I've got 50 points left, so he was able to really defend that well. I thought I had that. I remember watching that, or when I was playing this, I thought, oh yeah, it's gone. And I was so shocked that I wasn't able to get that attack in, to get that star in, but... A star. What's this, Clash of Clans? Seriously. I wasn't able to get that crown in. So, I mean, you kind of see how this works. You play defense 80% of the time, offense 20% of the time, but it's just enough to get you that one crown win. It's not a 3-crown strategy by any means, but it works well, very effective. So that's it. That's the strategy. Best deck to me by far is this type of deck. Whether you're using these cards or not, that's up to you. But a deck of this type where you're playing defense 8% of the time, you have a good mix of air and ground and tank and clear troops, and I say clear troops that can take out other troops en masse. If you have this type of deck, you will do well in Clash Royale. All right, guys. Thank you everyone for stopping by. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you beaches later. God